Alrighty guys, we're back for Mono Blue Pirates, and this is a Foundation Standard Brew, and I'm Red Cat. Let's briefly go over the deck, then hop right into some ranked. We got all four Brineborn Cutthroats. This is a 2-mana, 2/1 with Flash. A Merfolk Pirate. Oh, we gotta play Merfolks again sometime soon, huh? So anyways, whenever you cast a spell during an opponent's turn, you put a +1/+1 counter on this creature. This could get out of hand really fast, especially if you're dropping multiple things on the same turn, on the opponent's turn, of course. We have 3 Malcolm, Alluring Scoundrel. It's a 2-mana, 2/1 with Flash and Flying, and when it deals combat damage to a player, you put a chorus counter on it, draw a card, discard a card. If there are 4 or more chorus counters on Malcolm, you may cast the discarded card without paying its mana cost. Sometimes I look at Malcolm and I'm like, that seems relatively underplayed, huh? So we have 4 Spectral Sailors as well. This is a 1-mana, 1/1 with Flash, nice, and Flying. So we're going to be playing a lot on the opponent's turn with this one, huh? Also, for 3 and a blue, you can draw a card, which could come in handy, honestly. All right, more Pirates packed in. We have 3 Corsair Captains, 3-mana, 2/2. When this creature enters, you create a treasure token. Nice. Other pirates you control get +1/+1. Double nice. Also have a Kitesail Larcenist, making the cut as a 1/of. So our 3-mana cards, instead of just going for the 4th Captain, we have a Larcenist packed in because you never know when that extra removal is really going to come in handy, huh? And only 1 Larcenist because this time round we're not going the whole artifact routes with pirates. And sometimes when you do go the artifact route, you can turn like one of your unmapped tokens into a treasure, which acts as a bit of ramp, which really does come in handy. But anyways, enough about this 1/of. What else do we got packed in? Well, a whole bunch of tempo. Couple Into the Flood Maws, that'll do the thing. We have all 4 Unsummons, leaning towards the Unsummons over the Flood Maws because this could potentially help us save our own creatures, which I think is going to happen often, actually. We'll see, though. Got a bunch of counter spells packed into 4 Phantom Interference, do some rearranging here. Because, of course, more often than not, this is going to be a 2-mana counter spell. But then also, I think it's not going to be unheard of at all in here to actually use that top spree ability for the extra spirit in the air too, since this is very much a tempo deck list. 3 steps ahead is going to be terrific in here. Again, some rearranging. It's going to be a 3-mana counterspell often, 3-mana draw card often. But then there are going to be some moments too where you actually use that middle spree ability to copy target artifact or creature. Copying something like the Captain sounds like it would be really, really good, huh? And, you know, Captain helping us ramp as well. Yeah, I don't think it's going to be unheard of at all then to have the 4th mana for the Captain copy. Speaking of which, we do have ways to make some of these cards a little bit cheaper too. We have Eluge? Bro, I have no idea how to pronounce this. And I think this is the first time I'm playing with this too. The Shoreless Sea. It's a 4-mana. Legendary creature. It's an elemental fish. Unfortunately, not a pirate. However, power and toughness are each equal to the number of islands you control. Okay, we only have islands in here, so 20 islands. Cool. Whenever it enters or attacks, you put a flood counter on target land. It's an island in addition to its other types for as long as it has a flood counter on it. Okay. Then also the first instant or sorcery spell you cast each turn costs 1 blue less to cast for each land you control with a flood counter on it. It's actually a really neat ability. It doesn't just say, 1 less mana. It's 1 blue less mana. Now, it is only the first instant in sorcery, though, but man, it's a cool card. I like it. So 2-of on the top end. I think it'll be fine. A card that I missed going over, Opt over here. All 4 of them making the cut. Scry 1, draw a card. It's going to be good in here because you want to be able to keep a whole bunch of your instant cards open on the opponent's turn as well. So if you don't drop a counterspell, you can opt or do something else, flash out your creatures, stuff like that, right? We do have more card draw packed in with 3 quick studies as well. Oh, and more counterspells too. Wow, there's a lot I didn't go over. Long River's Pool. This can be your counterspell of choice for sure, because I don't know, man. I don't know anything about counterspells, honestly. So I think it's going to be good though. Counter, target creature spell, double blue when we only have islands. There are so many creatures that we would love hitting with Long River's Pool, and I can't think of a deck list that this wouldn't affect. And then worst comes to worst, it has that gift a card ability, where if you gift that card, instead you just counter target spell. Of course, we don't want the opponent's drawing, but at the same time, that's not terrible, huh? Honorable mentions, guys. I thought about Spyglass Siren. If we went the Spyglass Siren route, then I probably would have opted for more Kitesail Larcenist too. Charter Course could have been neat in this one. We're definitely trying to attack every turn, but at sorcery speed, realistically, we just need as many instant speed things as possible in here. Looks like I have a negate over here to remind myself to tell you guys your counter spells of choice, whatever you want in here. Staunch Crewmate could have been cool. Hottie Jin, what are you doing over here? Nah, if we're going mono blue tempo, of course, Hottie Jin would be a good pick. However, we're just going for those pirates, huh? Aetherize could have been awesome in here. Actually, as a one of, maybe we'll talk more about that in the final thoughts. Flow of Knowledge could have been cool too, and Cavern of Souls to call pirate. Feels a little unnecessary, but we'll see, we'll see. Okay, guys, I do my dandiest to save the more in-depth discussion for the end of the video, and sometimes I fail. Well, either way, I look forward to that. In the meantime, let's go ahead and take this into some ranked, see how we do. All right, we'll see if we can get right into that first game. In the meantime, what am I expecting from the build? I don't know. As far as mono blue goes, this should probably be janky, right? At the same time, bro. Might be pretty good. We'll see, we'll see. Double Malcolm. Yeah. I don't like this hand. Yeah. I don't know about this one, man. We should probably mulligan. We can find something better. Oh, yeah. Oh, much better. Probably send the Kitesail Larcenist, unfortunately. It's a swamp. Ew. I can imagine they're going to try to drop the removal right onto our Cutthroat, so just keeping it back for the turn is fine too. Like, we don't have to play Cutthroat. Maybe we can actually get the Unsummon down first for turn 3. Or we might have a great counterspell on their third. Oh yeah, worth it, right? Wait a minute. Yeah, right? Yes. Counterspells are hard for me, man, but 2 mana counterspell for 3 mana card, and that 3 mana card is pretty good. The reason I was second guessing was we have the tempo with the unsummons, but I think that was a fine counterspell. Of course, their turn 4 could look like a Shieldred or an Archfiend, which would be an even better counterspell. We still could have tempoed the Preacher, but they probably would have just played the Preacher back down, 4th mana anyways, maybe trying to keep open a cut down. So there's their 4th. They don't know that we don't have a counterspell. It is going to be a Shieldred, unfortunately, guys. Okay. Well, Cutthroat and Spectral Sailor. Still some pretty good tempo here, although we could go Unsummon onto Shieldred instead. But I think we'll wait. No, I won't wait, actually. I won't take any extra damage from the Shieldred right now. Ooh. That's pretty good. Extra damage getting through on the ground lets us keep the Unsummon open too. So we can Unsummon Shieldred next turn for more tempo. However, that being said, what we could have done... Oh man, tough decisions. If we would have went Spectral Sailor on their turn, would have been that extra 1/1. Aclazotes. Ew. That's a problem, dude. This is our last Unsummon too. Still worth the tempo though while we have it open, right? Probably, but we're starting to run out of things to do. Uh-oh, it's mana. Uh-oh. That's not good news, guys. That's not good news at all. Opponent's down to 9. It was looking pretty good until they have an awesome lifelink creature that they're going to love to trade into this Cutthroat. See what they do. Again, they don't know if we have a counterspell in hand, but Ruthless Negotiation. Got 4 open. Looks like they're going for the Shieldred. All right. We drop it all. We just drop it all. Let's see what we can get done here. Because it looks like they're missing the Aclizotes. Oh, a cut down for the Malcolm. Okay, well, either way, we're still going to get the Sailor down for the turn 2. That's a good cut down. Hitting a 3-2 Malcolm with a cut down, that's just like really good, isn't it? Looks like they might have missed spot removal for this Cutthroat. I'm on the edge of my seat, opponent. I'm on the edge of my seat. See, they only got 3 mana now. They don't have the Shielded unless they plan on playing their 6th mana, right? They still have 2 cards that we don't know about here. They still have a chump on the ground with the Mishra's Foundry. But again, then if they don't find their 5th for the Aclizotes to start gaining life too. Additionally, if they do find a different chump blocker, or even if it is just the Foundry, we could still see some more of our tempo pieces too, more of our bounce spells. Even a counter spell off the top would be amazing. The opponent has left the building, guys. Let's go ahead and pause until the opponent shows up, huh? All right, the opponent did not arrive. The timer was all the way run down. I'm just going to go for the swing. Well, if the opponent's here, right? If it lets us through, I guess we'll continue to pause the recording until something happens, right? All right, timer ran down again. We'll go for that swing. It gets on through. GG opponent. Something else too, cut down on the, let's see here. Man, at this point, I'm getting overdue for some losses. I hope we can keep the ball rolling. Cut down on the Corsair Captain also would have been pretty darn good because it would have taken 1 away from the Malcolm, 1 away from the Brineborn as well. And 2 power on the Captain too. So actually, it would have been 4 damage there taken away if they would have hit Captain over the Malcolm. Malcolm also made sense though, just being the 3-2 in the air, but it kind of makes more sense based on what's in their hand, which we just don't know. Looks like they missed big removal for the Brineborn, which was essential. The Quick Study was actually a pretty good draw, I would say. Actually, if the opponent was still around, I probably would have dropped Quick Study before combat, because there's a chance that we seen like a land and a counter spell, right? And then we'd have 2 open for that counter spell. Or a chance of seeing like an Unsummon or something if they did have that removal. But on the stack of the Quick Study, they would have wanted to drop that removal anyway, so it actually wouldn't have mattered too much, but it might have, so doing it before combat still would have been an option. Okay. I'm not liking these double Malcolm openers, but opt in hand, only 20 land in here. There's a good chance that we're not going to draw more islands here. We're on the draw too, so I'm going to keep this one. Give this a shot. It looks a little better than the last double Malcolm hand. Okay, opt is open with Unsummon, which is a good draw. Oh, Subterranean Schooner. That's one we don't get to see very often. All right. See what we see? Quick Study. I'll keep it. I think we keep it, right? Like, is there a reason to not draw into the Quick Study? Actually, because we're going to play Quick Study, we're going to see 2 more off the top. However, if we would have sent this to the bottom and drawn into one, then on the draw 2, I guess I don't really know right now. It depends how much we value Quick Study later on. Okay, they're going to power up the Schooner. They still have 2 open, so tempo play with Unsummon isn't going to be that great until we can actually counter it after the fact. And blocking with the Malcolm is definitely going to be a no-go. Guys, Pirates versus Pirates. All right. Right now, they have a much better setup than we do. But, all right. Try the Malcolm. It lands. It is burnt away by a Torch the Tower. Okay. Oh, hello, little fishy. 3 mana open, pass it on back. It's going to be a pretty good turn 4, right? Because we'll have an Unsummon for free. Cast each turn, right? So, Staunch Crewmate. The counter doesn't land. Let's see what they see on the Crewmate. I think they'd easily pay the 2 here. I'd rather save the Phantom Interference. Because if they miss mana and they try for a 3-drop like Breaches, then Phantom Interference hitting Breaches is going to be much, much better. Also, they used both of their blue sources. All right. Let's go ahead. Oh, crap. We let them... Crap. I shouldn't have let them swing with the schooner. We could take the 5 here down to 12 and then just go quick study to see more off the top. But then it's going to be... So they do actually find their island, too. Phantom Interference. Okay. Yeah, we shouldn't have let them get the Explorer, first of all. Right? From the swing. That was my bad. If they go Island, play Schooner, we'll go Phantom Interference, because that's a pretty good counter, I would say. They decide not to. Oh, they already played their land. I'm not keeping track very well, guys. We'll get Malcolm down. So that actually ended up being very good. Oh, Torch the Tower number 2, though. Crap. Okay. Right. So, 4/4 Fishy is something that doesn't get picked up by Torch the Tower. But then we won't have Phantom Interference open, but they're just going to pay for their 2 mana anyways. So it's going to be Fishy. All right. We have a 0 mana Phantom Interference. However, we still need to pay the spree cost too, so... I'll probably just take the damage if they swing, because this could still be... Oh, crap. They're going to turn our Fishy into a treasure. Dude, we're in danger, bro. Holy cow. They also have the turn for the Schooner. At some point, I probably could have done something in a different order to try to lean this in our favor. I don't know, man. This would be a great... this is why Aetherize made the honorable mentions. We just keep everything open here, right? Might have a pretty good block next turn. But they kept 2 open too. They have 1 card remaining. All right. Oh, it's going to be a Malcolm, actually. That does make sense. A counterspell now could be good, guys. I think we're in danger either way. We're going to let him keep the Malcolm. How do you guys feel about that? What ends up happening with a full swing is Brineborn Cutthroat might be a surprise. Corsair Captain. Wow. Brineborn Cutthroat not going to be a surprise here. They still have the 2 for the Phantom Interference anyways. They've played around this the whole game. Crap. Crap, guys. I don't know. I don't know, man. Phantom Interference is missing right now, unfortunately. If this was our other counter spells, we would have had some really good counters this whole time, huh? 1, 2, 3. This is just going to be a 3/2. So do I even plan? Oh, we're going to be forced to block. Oh. Well, I guess while they're tapped out, we should at least go for the counter now, right? If we... Oh. We want to establish Cutthroat first for the extra counter on it. But then also, if we would have... 6 in the air. They do go for the ground swing as well. We're out of this game. I'm going to take the block while we have it down to 2. See what's on top. Right? I think that's worthwhile. Dude, Pirates versus Pirates. We got obliterated this game. Let's actually start with the draw. We'll just do this on our turn. So the extra Unsummon really could have come in handy earlier, huh? We still have Unsummon open because of our Shoreless, but realistically, Ward 1, yeah, with 2 treasures. It's too bad we'd have to pop both of these treasures to bounce the Larcenist. the bounce would be their captain, but then they play the captain again anyways, so we'd want to do it after the swing. Staunch crewmate. Yeah, the crewmate could have been good in here, but actually, like, even though we're mono blue pirates, most of the deck is going to be our instant speed card, so I think the crewmate would actually miss in this particular pirate build. It's not missing in the opponent's build. This is freaking sick, dude. Roaming Throne is awesome. Yeah, being able to hit extra artifacts too on the crewmate, that makes more sense over there for sure. All right, let's go ahead and let's use this one and bounce the captain now that they're tapped out too, right? It's 2 in the air and we can block on the ground. Yeah, I wanted to play it out completely just to see what was capable. And I think early on in that game too, there might have been some optimized plays that could have helped us a little bit. Also, not entirely knowing what the opponent was going to play next. That was pretty tough, actually. And that actually showcases why mono blue, you know, gets made fun of a lot for just going counterspell, 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 right? But there's actually there's a ton of things to think about all the time. Against that deck list, man, the Long Rivers Pool, oh man, that would have been really good. If we see more creature decks like that, maybe I'll consider all 4 Long Rivers Pool. Hey, speaking of which, okay, opponent goes first too. Right, we keep this. This is not bad. We don't turn to Cutthroat though, I would say. We probably wait. Spiteful Hex Mage, huh? Okay. Well, Unsummon is available, but Captain is around. See what they end up doing on their turn too, before we consider what we're doing with our Brineborn. They just swing with the 1/1. That is happening. So the good news is they didn't have something to sacrifice their enchantment right away. Fear of missing out is not the greatest unsummoned target. I think we're going to find something much better later on. Oh, they must have a second Braids in hand, guys, for sure. Braids is a much, much better unsummoned target, but we're going to try to counter it with the Phantom Interference. And it's going to be Phantom Interference because we don't want the game to go on too long to where it's obsolete, the same way it did in the last game. The opponent was just playing really cheap things in the last game, though. But, like, this does look like the deck list where we will have plenty of options to use the Long Rivers Pool. So, go for the swing. Take 3 down to 16. And Braids. Not a Braids. Oh, that's probably still worthwhile, right? Right? Going wide against mono blue? Yeah, we should counter it. I can't believe they sent that Braids if it wasn't Braids, but at the same time, they're playing around counter spells probably too, right? Replacing the Phantom Interference is great news. Swing for 3. Or, hear me out, we go Cutthroat, right? Block the Hex Mage, unsummon the Fear. That's not worth it. I think we're forced to just take the 3 and keep the counter spells open again. Because bouncing either one of those is actually pretty terrible. The opponent says, I'm not playing anything. Try the Brineborn Cutthroat here. I think we just saved the unsummon. We might unsummon our own Brineborn if they try to pop it. You know, 3 cards remaining in hand against Rakdos. Probably a lot of removal in there. What you got for me, opponent? What you got for me? Of course, using a piece of tempo on our own card, it's kind of like removal for removal at that point. And in this case, 1 mana removal for 1 mana removal. I say we protect our creature, and I hope that's okay because now they have a 3/1 Hex Mage. Okay. Island. All right, at least this time, too, we'll be able to get Cutthroat down and have our counter spells open on the same turn. However, we should probably go for the block this time. And we'd go into the block with the Hex Mage. That doesn't seem that great, man. But taking 5 doesn't seem great either. Yeah, the thing is, the Brineborn can get chunky enough to just be a great blocker in general, not a great trade, right? Like, we don't have to trade if we can get this guy... Keep this guy chunky. I'd say, overall, like, the opponent taking their time, having some patience with what they're playing out. So, we will go Brineborn Cutthroat. They have 2 open. I hope this works. Hopefully they don't have removal. Opponent, what is it? What is it, opponent? What is it? The Braids counter, first of all, is really freaking good, man. Oh, they pass it back. That's so good. That's great news. All right. Corsair Captain. Are we at the point in the game where we're forced to keep a blocker? Or can we start doing the tempo thing? At 8, they got 5. If they do something fancy with fear of missing out, yeah, we should keep the blocker, unfortunately. But one of my favorite things about tempo is actually being able to swing with creatures. Disturbing Mirth. That is terrible news, guys. They definitely pay the 2 from the Phantom Interference, so the best bet would be to counter the next thing that they play, and then go from there. They decide their Hex Mage isn't worth it, but they don't have enchantments in the grave, so it could have been Fear of Missing Out, and then drawn into another Fear of Missing Out. That would have been 3 out of 4, right? Their 3/2 was valuable because it actually trades into our Cutthroat, where Fear of Missing Out doesn't. Uh-oh. They're going to Manifest Dread. They get the Exile on Cutthroat. They still got 3 mana open, guys. These Phantom Interferences are missing way too much. At that point, we let it happen. We save Phantom Interference for next turn because we have so much mana. They do find what they need, which was a land off the Manifest Dread. So Fear of Missing Out is actually going to swing in twice here. That's not good, guys. That's not good. We're just going to let it happen. We can't lose the captain just yet, right? That's going to have to just wait. Finding the removal is great. Holy cow. Well, now we go for it, right? They're finally tapped out. We finally get a counterspell with the Phantom Interference successfully again. And Malcolm is really good. Malcolm trades into the Fear of Missing Out while the captain is on the board. But we're in so much danger, we're going to have to block the face down card too, potentially. Or if the opponent found something good, they could flip that face down card up, because they got a ton of mana. Yeah, losing 3 life there. That was a good counter, luckily. So let's see where they end up untapping. I hope they untap Fear of Missing Out. They do. Okay, awesome. So we can get Malcolm down for the block. Or attempted block, I should say. We'll take the 2 from the face down card, which is very risky, but we'll see what happens. Nice. Face down card did not flip face up to end the game. Worth the risk. Passes back. It's an unsummon. Man, we really did not get to do the tempo thing. Right now, we got to get some card draw. Unsummon's great, though. Don't get me wrong. Since I didn't plan on blocking with the captain either way. Oh, it's a nowhere to run. No. Well, crap. Yes, they could keep that open for our turn. However, they might not want us to draw a card, as it might be a counterspell. So nowhere to run, pop the captain. So it's a very similar concept to the trade. However, we're 1 unsummoned down. Malcolm is good. Holding on for dear life over here, guys. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Forge will do it. That's one. See what else they got. We're not blocking with the Malcolm. Not this turn, at least. If we block with the Malcolm, they still have 2 getting through next turn regardless with the Urabrask Forge. Oh, Phantom Interference is not bad. Let's see what we draw here. An Opt. Opt could potentially help us find more, but we need the 2/2 from the Phantom Interference to block the Forge anyways. But again, we could find more off the Opt. Holding on for dear life, or maybe we find our Fishy, which would be a 6/6. Alright. It's all risky at this point anyways, guys. I'm going to keep the Opt, and maybe we find our Fishy. Or a Brineborn Cutthroat. I guess that also kind of works. No, it doesn't actually, because the Forge has Trample. Ah, GG opponent. So he could have potentially had one more turn with the Phantom Interference 2/2. Even then, I say potentially. The opponent was still drawing. They could have found more removal there too. And it was really well-placed removal from the opponent that game the whole time, right? So, not bad. Or I guess both pieces, Torch the Tower and the Final Vengeance, was pretty brutal. And they played around the second Phantom Interference really, really well. So that's something to be said. And I had Negate over in the honorable mentions. And so maybe a different arrangement of counterspells could have helped us out there. If I had one less Phantom Interference and opted for one of Negate, maybe we could have actually hit one of those removal spells with the Negate too, which could have kept us in that game. All that is very, very noteworthy. Wow, speaking of Phantom Interference, what on earth, dude? We'll keep this. We'll see what happens here. Oh, guys, while I have you here towards the end of the video, make sure you check out that description where we do have that Discord link as well as that Patreon link, too, if you're interested in supporting the channel that way. But then also, guys, about that YouTube nonsense, huh? We got to talk about that, too. If you like the video, make sure you actually drop it a like. If you enjoy the channel, then consider subscribing as well. Really does help out the channel. Insidious Fungus. Okay. Okay, let's get Malcolm down, see if it gets picked up by a cut down. It does not. 3 Steps Ahead is now available. Finally making an appearance too, right? I think, is this the first game where we have the 3 Steps Ahead? Ditching the second Malcolm is probably not advisable here, because of all the removal that Golgari plays with. Too bad we don't have a 1-mana card in hand. Oh, Sultai colors. Wouldn't be a bad counterspell. Alright. While we can, right? Before they get enough mana to pay for all this. Plus they discarded a card for the cost too. Another Cutthroat. That could be really good. I'll send the Malcolm now that we have 2 Cutthroats in hand. Another 3 Steps Ahead, though. No, I should send the Malcolm this time. All right, let's see what they do. We need more mana right now, but there's a reason there's only 20 mana in here. Archaeologist. Nice. I'll let you have that, because I want to go Brineborn Cutthroat for the turn. Atraxa hit the grave, guys. Well, now we're going to need to keep our counterspell open pretty much no matter what for when they go for the reanimation. It's not a cut down. Great news. And our 4th. There we go. Man, Archaeologist is a 1/4, though. That's a shame. Still just swinging the air then. I wanted the 4th mana regardless. Let's see if it's going to be... Okay, it's probably... Well... Phantom Interference, it might be getting too late now for that, right? Opt is actually okay since we have Brineborn Cutthroat too on the board established already. Let's see where the counterspell lands. It's probably going to have to land this turn, though, since Atraxa's in the grave. Bitter Triumph. They send a 1 with the Multiverse. So we start with the Opt. It's sticking, guys. It is. We'll send a land because I don't think we need that right now. But we'll go for the full counter. It's going to be another Cutthroat. Wow. Cutthroat is going to be a 4/3. Is it gonna bite the dust is the question. Since they didn't reanimate this turn, it's gonna be another Archaeologist. Okay. Yeah, no matter what, we need to keep this other 3 steps ahead open though for their turn. Squirming Emergence, yeah. That's gonna have to be countered. So they pass it back. It's more land. So, if there are 4 or more chorus counters on Malcolm, you can cast the discarded card without paying its mana cost. And I guess it would be a Cutthroat at that point. The discard will be, well, yeah, discard a Cutthroat, even though we'd want to do both of them on the opponent's turn. 3, 4, right, yeah, no, this is a full swing. They go for the chump. All right. 2, 3 in the air. They're down to 12. We're doing the tempo thing this time, guys. Long River's Pool. That's pretty good. Discard a Cutthroat because we get to play it for free. All right. Is it worth playing the island? Yes. Because we'll have 3 steps ahead and the other Cutthroat open too. Or double counterspells if we desperately need it. But I'm going to try for the Cutthroat, though. Whale of the Forgotten, and they still have 3 here. Return target non-land permanent to its owner's hand. Target opponent discards a card as well. Let's go with Long River's Pool. Let them draw. We'll have 3 for the 3 steps ahead. Right? How's that sound, guys? Because that's a lot that they're receiving. And they don't know that we have the 3 steps ahead. It's probably going to try to be the Squirming Emergence for the turn. For the Atraxa, probably, right? Whale of the Forgotten. I'm going to stick to it, maybe? If we're going to have to discard anyways. Is this okay, guys? Because now they're going to have the Squirming Emergence regardless. Oh, I shouldn't have done that. Well, hold on. How... Yeah, they have 2 chump blockers, then Atraxa comes. I shouldn't have done that. Let's see what we see on the Malcolm. The 2 chump blockers being the main issue here, of course, right? And that was a really good draw for them, too. If I would have started with the 3 steps ahead... Oh, I played that out poorly, guys. I should have started with 3 steps ahead, then they wouldn't have drawn into the other Whale of the Forgotten. Then attempted the Squirming Emergence. Unsummon is really good, man. Wow. All right. So free Spectral Sailor. Unsummon was such a good draw off the Malcolm, guys. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. It's so good. We'll see what they see. Oh, they go 1 with the Multiverse. I wonder what's in their hand that they want to play for free. Find mana off the top. Itali. Wow. Okay, well, that's only once during there. Okay, let's hope they miss, and let's hope they miss significantly here. Oh, that was not an Atraxa, bro. It was. It was. And an Unsummon. No. Oh, they're opting to unsummon the Malcolm over our 6/5. That's great news, at least. Holy cow, I cannot imagine a better lineup for the opponent right now, but I could have played it out so much better too. Right. There's nothing we can do with the mana we have available now. So let's see what they see on the Atraxa and hope they don't find another Squirming Emergence, which could be very, very, very possible. See what they see. Squirming Emergence could just bring back the other Atraxa, though. There's not too much that they can hit right now, so Atraxa's already legendary. I'm sorry, opponent. I was running down the timer. There's still a lot to think about here. Insidious Fungus is going to be another chump blocker on the ground, which is scary enough, I suppose. All right. Third Brineborn. Boost the other Brineborns. What they don't know about is the Unsummon that we have in our hand, too. Once during each of your turns. Draw a card. All right. And then unsummon the Atraxa. Right? We wanted to wait until the very, very last moment to do all this. We had 3 in the air. They got 2 blockers. It doesn't really matter, though. We full swing. We don't really... and we don't look back. We just try. We go for it, bro. Good blocker. Good chump. 7 getting through. See what we see on the Malcolm ability. I think we can get there. I can't believe the lineup that we've seen from the opponent so far, but... Uh-oh, it's an island. We're still in danger, guys, but even with their 7 lifelink, they're going to need a little bit more than what they're seeing right now. Yeah, 7 lifelink might not be enough. Atali coming back for the turn, though, too. Uh-oh. Atali could see even more, huh? Let's see what they find on the Atraxa. Yeah, Squirming Merchants on the Atali. That's Spectral Sailor. This one's melting my brain a little bit, dude. I do know one thing. I could have played it out much better. At the beginning, at least. I believe so. Well, not the very beginning. This Long River Pool and the 3 steps ahead, I just did those 2 counterspells out of order, which I think was significant, and I think that it potentially could have lost us the game if we can't push through here. It depends what they see on Atali. I hope they miss this time. They find more chump blockers. Oh, 2 more chump blockers, guys. Oh, no. Oh, no. 1, 2, 3, with 2 blockers in the air. We're not getting through unless we find more of our tempo. Vaultborn Tyrant, Squirming Emergence. The Vaultborn Tyrant brings him back up to 6. Dude, oh no, oh no. Yeah, I think this one easily could have come down to me. But the great news is the deck list is doing the pirate thing, and it's doing it really well, really cool. Will of the Forgotten. All right. And we're going to have to discard a card too. So it's going to be, the discard's going to be the Spectral Sailor, but we could also, we could draw on the Spectral Sailor too. And still play the other Spectral Sailor. So maybe the discard is the Cutthroat, play the other Sailor. And draw off the first Sailor to try to find our tempo. I don't know, guys, but I do think we're out of this game, unfortunately, which feels really bad because it just felt like it was going to be ours for sure. All right, start with the draw. Find our tempo piece. Nope, it's land. Come on now. Come on now. We can find some. I mean, they're at 3. Like, this is a... Oh, no. We can still find it. We can still find it. Yeah, we can still find it. We go for it right now. Oh, Into the Flood Maw. Holy cow, dude. Bounce their life gain. Get out of here, Atraxa. Yes. Haha. Block. Oh no, 2 still. It's still only 2 getting through. Oh no, guy. How's the opponent in this, bro? Oh no, I miscounted. I got so excited. That was still a full swing turn though, right? Right? I don't even know at this point. It was a math is for blockers turn, and unfortunately, it worked out in the opponent's favor. Get the Atraxa back. They only got 16 cards left in their deck, guys. Maybe they'll deck themselves out before we lose 18 life here. They go Virtue to gain some life back. They go back up to 3, which is a good idea. No way. The captain would have been insane. Oh, that would have been the excess damage right there, right? Oh no. All right, we play it all out because the opponent's playing Will of the Forgotten, which has us discarding cards too. So we don't like hold the island in our hand in hopes of like trading it out later to a Malcolm or something. We get it onto the board for sure. Their reanimation target would probably be a Tali. We're going to let them play this out, guys, but always feel free to skip ahead through the video. This, unfortunately, is going to be the last game of the evening. Huh, I wonder why they didn't grab the Atali. Velgavoth, huh? Founding the third path. I guess at that point, I'm going to go for the mill to see more on the Velgavoth. That's cool. That's cool. That's something I didn't think about. I was thinking, like, maybe they could cast back the Squirming Emergence from the grave with the bottom ability, then grab the Atali with that. They do find a Bitter Triumph. They got our Opt, our Brineborn. They got 13 cards remaining. We're dead next turn, but I definitely want to see what's on top here. A Long River's Pool. Well, guys, maybe we'll get one cool counter spell in before they swing. Aw, they just go for the Bitter Triumph. I would have loved to see the Squirming Emergence. Hey, good game, opponent. I'll tell you what, man. It's possible that we got a little unlucky, but it's very likely that I also just did not play that out very well either. And I think that is the more likely scenario. I really do believe that that one play out of order, the 3 steps ahead. Where is everything? Oh, did they exile it? I'm getting lost in here. Oh, right here. We did 3 steps ahead and Long River's Pool out of order. If I would have done it in the proper order and not given them that extra card, like the fact that they found the Will of the Forgotten, like sure, that really worked out in their favor, but we didn't have to do that first. Should have full countered the first whale, had the Long River's Pool for when they attempted Squirming Emergence on the same turn. And I really do believe that would have been ours if I would have done that, which is crazy to think about, man. All coming down to one play. I did see it after, though. I guess that's cool, right? That's something that doesn't always happen when I play mono blue, especially with counter spells and stuff. That one was pretty easy to see, though, because we're given the opponent value with Long River's Pool. Guys, I convinced myself Phantom Interference has to go down. We're going to go up that Negate. Here we go. Sometimes I can't type at all. There we go. I convinced myself in those games easily. Easily, man. Phantom Interference was missing too much. Negate is not going to miss that much. Ever. Can you guys think of a deck list where the non-creature spell is just non-existent? No, right? I can't think of anything right now. You guys let me know in the comments for sure. I do actually like the 3 Long River's Pool. I love the 3 steps ahead, 3 of them. I still like Phantom Interference. It was missing a lot. I still like it, though, keeping the 3. There's what the curve looks like after we do some rearranging. It's actually really neat, man. I would have loved to see the Shoreless Sea do a little bit more today than get turned into a treasure, but that's okay. I think it'll still be worth the 2 on the top end, but I'll tell you what, if you don't have them, don't put them in here, man. It's a mythic. I don't know how often it's actually gonna do the thing, but having like the whole pirate theme, but then also we got a fish, that's kind of neat. I don't know. I like that. This could just be Hottie Gin too, though. At that point, yeah, a couple Hottie Gins. The curve looks a little bit worse with a couple Hottie Gins, but we're still got like this weird looking aggro tempo style curve anyways, where we have so many 1-drops too. The 2 Into the Flood Maws, 4 Unsummon is going to be excellent. I think having 6 of these abilities is totally fine and dandy. And you could go 3 Unsummons, 3 Into the Flood Maws, depending on what you're seeing. I do think that the 4 and 2 is going to be a good split overall, though. Where's our pirates? Spectral Sailor, Brineborn Cutthroat, Malcolm, and Corsair Captain with the Kitesail Larcenist. That's a pretty decent list of creatures, and I guess if we're putting our creatures over there, there's our creature lineup. The 3 Malcolms, I actually think this card is really good, and a little bit underplayed maybe, but it really depends. What we're seeing more often than not is actually just, when it comes to flash creatures, right, and it makes sense, right, Fairy Mastermind. That's what we're seeing instead. So, did Malcolm ever have a chance? Because it's a legendary creature too, so you can't have multiple out. And how often are we just swarmed by the opponent's Fairy Masterminds? And it doesn't even need to be a swarm, even if they just got 2 of them. That's still pretty darn deadly, you know? But you know what Fairy Mastermind isn't? Fairy Mastermind isn't a pirate, darn it. Malcolm is a pirate. And you know what really came in handy today too? Was actually the Malcolm's discard ability. That was pretty sick. It was doing a lot for us. Yeah, if I would have played it out a little better, I think we could have actually pulled off some more victories. That being said, as far as Mono Blue goes, guys, this is probably a pretty janky version of Mono Blue. Like, let's be real. But I'm not 100% certain. I don't know. More testing required, I guess. What about the do not craft list? I would say no. But I'd say craft a little less based on what your collection looks like. But then also, if you already have Mono Blue, you might as well just stick with your current Mono Blue tempo. Like, there's no real reason to go pirates unless, like, you really like pirates and you think that that's really cool. But it is really neat, isn't it? 3 steps ahead. If you play blue, it'd probably be worth the craft, right? I don't know. Blue players, let me know. I'm like, when I play blue, I usually play 3 steps ahead. So that says something at least, right? Corsair Captain is a rare. So unless you plan on actually just going the pirate route, this would not be worth the craft at all. But for this deck list, I guess. But again, is this the version of Mono Blue you want to be playing? I'm not convinced. That being said, if you are like looking for a Mono Blue list, but then also you have Is It Pirates chilling, well then Corsair Captain might be worthwhile. Goes in both of those pretty effectively, doesn't it? Kitesail Larcenist is also a rare. Malcolm is a rare, and it's like I just said, usually we just see the Fairy Mastermind instead. So outside of pirates, are you going to see Malcolm? Probably not too often. There might be some like legendary deck lists that might want Malcolm at some point too. Really depends. We saw a lot of Malcolms in our openers today, and we drew into a lot of Malcolms. Even so, even being legendary, the opponents are removing so much, even when you're countering their removal spells. So usually they'll pop one of the Malcolms. You can just play the second one anyways. So the legendary doesn't hold you up as much as you would think. Brineborn Cutthroat is kind of held back a little bit by not having any form of evasion. So for this deck list, putting a little bit of evasion in could be pretty good, but we only have 17 creatures. So if you take out something else and you put in some evasion cards that help us slip through, right? Something that helps us get unblockable, then you better hope it gives you a way to actually generate something to, oh, that perfect. I just answered that question. The new Kaito, Cunning Infiltrator, +1, help the Brineborn get through, but then -2 helps you generate creatures. Holy cow, that'd be perfect in here, man. I personally, okay, what the drop could be like the Shoreless Sea, right? Just remember though, a lot of the deck list is us holding things open for the opponent's turn. Look at this, 23 instant speed cards. Holy cow. And then what? 11 flash cards as well. So Kaito is not doing anything on your opponent's turn. It doesn't have flash or anything fancy. So that being said, you'd want to drop something that also doesn't have flash. So we're probably looking at the Shoreless Sea. For 20 mana, it felt like a lot sometimes, but I think you're still going to want 20 mana. You're still going to want to hit your 3 on turn 3 very often to maybe keep open an Unsummon with your Cutthroat or something, right? Kaito would be excellent in here. I'm pretty sure, right? You guys let me know in the comments, what do you think? I'm personally not going to change anything because when I change the deck list, I don't like adding mythics to the deck list, although we could drop a Shoreless Sea and go up a Kaito successfully probably. Again, it makes the... You know what? That is a mythic for a mythic. And I'm pretty sure it's going to be excellent in here, but boy, it looks weird. The deck list looks really messy when we do that. Yeah. It looks a little funny, right? But maybe. I just think that +1 is going to be so good with that Brineborn Cutthroat. All right, dropping a mythic for a Kaito. And that being said, guys, always keep an eye on like the deck list that I put down below, because in these final thoughts, I do change things sometimes. And so whatever I change it to, that's usually what I put in the bottom. The description, that's what it's called. My goodness, guys. Huh. Is it nap time already? I guess so. I do really like the Kaito edition. I like dropping the Phantom Interference for the Negate a lot too. If I played another 4 games, I wouldn't be surprised if we won 3 out of the 4, right? Because we played 4, we won 1, we lost 3. If we played another 4, I wouldn't be surprised if we won 3, lost 1. Got the deck win rate up to a 50%, but I also wouldn't be too surprised if we continued to just lose too, right? Because again, this might not be the version of Mono Blue that Standard needs right now. I like it though. Kitesail Larcenist could also be the drop, but dropping more... Honestly, Kitesail Larcenist for the second Kaito would be pretty cool too. But again, when I do change things at the end here, I don't like adding rarity. It depends though. It depends on how much the deck list needs. That's something to consider, guys, dropping the Kitesail Larcenist for the second Kaito, because I really do think that this could be really good in here. I don't know about the -9 though. What is that? Get an emblem with whenever a player casts a spell, create... Okay. It's not terrible, actually, especially when we're getting through in the air with the Spectral Sailor and the Malcolm too. Yeah, consider dropping the Kitesail Larcenist for the Kaito. Consider dropping the other Shoreless Sea for more removal, or an Aetherize. An Aetherize would have been pretty good today, guys. It would have been. Man, I'm tempted to change that right now, too. I'm not going to, though. Not this time round. This might deserve a revisit in the future, but I think the next time we play Pirates, we're just going to go Is It. Guys, we're almost an hour into the video. Holy cow. Thank you so much for being here. Seriously, you made it this far in. Y'all are champions. For real. I super duper appreciate you, and I will see you in the next video.